Whenever I start these videos, it's always like generally a very awkward thing to start talking to a camera by yourself, especially when you feel like people like next door, so like the walls are really thin here, can hear what you're saying. So it's a little awkward, but I'm just gonna jump into this in the spirit of authenticity. I'm not going to try to like have this super energetic intro or anything like that. Let's just get into it. Let me just start by saying like this background is my new apartment, which I'm super duper excited about. And I'm still setting it up and like, you know, just decorating, waiting for my couch and things like that. So I'm going to wait to have it just like completely set up before I show and tell my amazing new space, and I'm really happy about it. So that will be soon to come, but today I wanted to share just a bit of an update of what I've been up to, particularly since Hanukkah. And so I want to kind of bring you along this like path that I've been on since then. A lot of amazing, interesting things have happened to me. And one of them is related to why I'm not wearing makeup and why I decided I'm actually not going to wear makeup anymore, at least for a while, at least for January. So we'll see what happens. But okay, let me dive in by saying, one thing I wanted to share that I almost did a separate video on, but I'll just mention it here, was that I actually did a whole like full day vlog on the third day of Hanukkah. Anyway, at the end of that whole process of spending all this time like vlogging all day and then editing it multiple times, I actually realized I didn't want to share the video after all. And there have been plenty of times where I've captured a video, recorded it, edited it and all that, and then ultimately decided it wasn't really something I wanted to put out there. So that's what happened on the third day of Hanukkah. And that was just another important reminder for me that whatever I put out on this channel is something that I genuinely care about and or something that I want to capture and remember for myself. And so yeah, that's just a little bit of throwing it out there, explainer for you guys. Anyway, that is sort of related to the topic of this video, which is really the theme of authenticity. So let me get to sort of the second point of what has happened to me since Hanukkah. And the interesting thing for me, like what I'm considering my personal Hanukkah miracle, whether or not you may, want to think about it like that, is that I don't know what happened, what got into me, but suddenly, ever since like that week of Hanukkah, I have been waking up before, like pretty much before 5 a.m. every single day, like before my alarm. I set my alarm. I have two alarms. I have one at 5, like right now I have one at 5:19 and then like a just in case alarm at 6. And I am a sleeper. Like I can sleep easily 10 hours straight. Like I'm just, when I do sleep, I love to sleep and I sleep a lot. So it's crazy to me that I'm able to not only get up on time, like very, early and stuff, but the fact that I'm actually waking up before my alarm and like in the dark 5 a.m. or earlier, which is amazing to me. So that has been like just completely game changing. And I have to say, like, I just think there's something completely shifting about my energy and I'm just feeling like amazing. So that's been incredible. Like, and every day when I wake up, I'm just so grateful that I'm actually able to somehow still like miraculously wake up so early. Now, the reason why you might not think it's so miraculous, but I think that, miracles are technically things that, that happen through nature that are out of the norm of nature. So you can kind of connect it like that. But I started taking some minerals and just learning a lot more about nutrition and such. I'm just really into vitamins and supplements and things like that. It have always interested me, but I realized I'm probably mineral deficient. I think most of us are. I think most of us have magnesium deficiency is a very common one, but anyway, so I started looking into minerals and magnesium is one that I started taking, also potassium and a few other things. But really, since I started taking the magnesium, like that's very well known for improving the quality of your sleep. So it won't make you drowsy or anything, but you can even take it like in the morning, which is what I do. And I don't know, I think that's just really changed the quality of my sleep. I have to attribute perhaps at least some of my waking up super early to that. But, that being said, I'll still consider it a miracle because it's some kind of change in my personal nature and I'm just all about it, loving it and very happy about it. So like Modani has been just like next level, different, just really just refreshed, I guess is a good way to say it. So anyway, that has been a second interesting change of what's been going on, or I guess just second thing I wanted to share. The first thing wasn't really a change. And the third thing, which is really this sort of more interesting thing that happened to me recently, and there's just been a lot, but the third thing that I want to share was that I was doing this meditation and I was meditating on a certain topic, and I won't share, maybe I'll share with you guys like the full story at some point, but I was meditating on a certain topic and I was like, I got into a very, very deep state of meditation where I was like on the cusp of falling asleep, like right at that, like that theta level, right? So I was basically like asking my alternate self, like I was sort of like meditating and sort of imagining like my higher self or like an alternate version of myself to sort of tap into my inner wisdom, get some personal advice. And as I was meditating on this topic, clear as day, I hear, sense, see, like just all of my senses absorb this phrase, don't cover your face. And I was like, first of all, I was totally taken aback because it seemingly had nothing to do with the topic around which I was like consulting myself. So it just seemed like really out of left field. But secondly, I was really taken aback by just how sharply, clearly, vividly that message came through. It was like I saw the words, I heard it. It was just like every sense just like absorbed it, and I just like knew it in my like being. Like I just knew that message. And so that was really interesting to me. And so don't cover your face, like it didn't mean like with a veil with your hands, metaphorically. I knew immediately what that meant, and it actually related to not wearing makeup. And so long story short, without getting you guys down this whole path, I had recently been researching like angels and demons and just kind of like learning a little bit more about those things. And I found it so fascinating that Azazel, which is like the, the demon or the deity, the pagan deity that is related to Yom Kippur, when like the scapegoat ritual and all that. Apparently, there are like in the book of Enoch, there's some information out there about Azazel or Azazel, however you prefer to pronounce it, having created weapons and teaching man how to use weapons and like metalwork, but also cosmetics. And I found that to be really interesting that this like, pagan deity or whatever you want to attribute to him was related to these two different things, other things as well, but those really stood out at me. Like, weapons are an obviously like negative, evil, bad thing. And then cosmetics. So I started just thinking about that, and like, you can very easily describe why cosmetics are like a negative thing, like it's a deception and da-da-da. Like, I won't get into all that. I am not going to say that I'm like standing against wearing makeup or anything. I happen to love makeup. I enjoy it. I think, people look really beautiful in makeup. And so I'm not anti-makeup, and that's not what I'm saying here. So like, that's not the point of this video. But for me personally, and just where I am with my spiritual journey and just how I'm trying to grow and mature, I just completely knew where that message was coming in. And when I heard myself say like, don't cover your face, and I knew that that meant don't wear makeup, especially related to the topic that I was actually meditating on, it all kind of clicked and made sense to me. So I was taken aback, but it was so clear as day. So I decided to like listen to my inner guidance here. And also just to be, just to put this out there, I want to be careful to mention like, this is not a matter of like praying to yourself or praying to like anything other than Hashem. This was like truly just like a meditative practice. So I really do differentiate those two, just to say that. But anyway, I also have been praying to Hashem about this topic as well. So anyway, all that being said, I just realized like, I've got to do this. I've got to try to not wear makeup. And for me, the reason was all tied to authenticity. And something that I just, I've really been thinking about what makes me happy and unhappy, and just like what lights me up, especially more so the last couple of weeks I've been going through just kind of this like tumultuous, like chaotic period of upheaval and just renewal. And it's been really, it's been like a time to reset. And this was even prior to the new year. So anyway, I realized that, authenticity is something that I truly, truly value. It's just one of those core tenets of mine. And at the end of the day, again, while I'm not anti-makeup, for me personally, I understood that the way that I'm wearing makeup and just how much I'm sort of depending on it to like feel good and feel pretty and polished and all that stuff was just a little too much. And it wasn't actually helping my spirit, my soul kind of grow and mature to where I wanted it to be. So basically I decided like, let me at least for now, like give myself January, like 1 month not to wear makeup, just kind of experiment with it, see like what this message that was coming through was all about, especially tied to the theme that I was meditating on. And that's it. So that's what I'm doing. You're going to see me with no makeup on, at least for the rest of this month. Again, no like shade against people who are wearing makeup. I love makeup. I enjoy it a lot. I think it's like a fun, cool thing and like totally not against it. But again, just for me and where I am and just understanding how I feel when I wear makeup versus don't wear makeup, it's something I definitely wanted to heal and wanted to just get to a good place on. So maybe someday, like I basically want to feel like completely confident and authentic and secure in who I am when I'm not wearing makeup. And I feel fine, like, at home with my family, with my like closest friends. I can even walk out in public, which in my teens I would never want to do. And even in my 20s, I would never want to do without like a full face of makeup. Like I'm the type of person who, when I wear makeup, I'm like a little extra, like I'll wear full lashes and everything, like not as a special occasion kind of thing. So like I like makeup. So anyway, I want to get to a point where I'm also feeling fully confident in every situation without makeup and not feeling like it's sort of like dimming me, which is kind of how I feel, if I'm being completely honest. So something new. I mean, I've really been like growing into this point where I'm even able to like fathom doing this. And a lot of it was started like, 2, 3, I guess more like 3 years ago now, since I became observant when I stopped wearing makeup on Shabbat. Basically for halakhic reasons, like there is kosher for Shabbat makeup, but personally, I just feel like, look, in Olam Haba, we're not wearing makeup. We're going to feel beautiful and pure and just, perfect as we are. So I've really taken up the practice of not wearing makeup on Shabbat. If I'm like going out somewhere for like a Friday night dinner, I'll wear makeup because it's something I've put on before Shabbat, but definitely not putting on fresh makeup throughout the course of that day. So like I said, I've just kind of built myself up to this point. So I am able to like go out to the store and like, I'm not like completely, like horrified by not wearing makeup the way I would have been in my 20s out in public, but it's still a little uncomfortable in certain scenarios. Like I would never not never, I shouldn't say that because I'm changing this now, but I would have had a really hard time thinking about going to any kind of event or any kind of professional meeting or setting or like an interview, a date, like any kind of like formal, like I'm presenting myself to you and I want to like come out looking really polished. Like I would have not felt comfortable at all not wearing makeup. So the first thing that happened to me was last week when I went into Tel Aviv to have a meeting with my bosses and I didn't wear makeup. And I've been on Zooms before, like not wearing makeup, because like we're a remote team, so working at home, it's like not a big deal. Plus you have like that nice like Zoom beauty filter touch up stuff, so it's like it's okay. Like, and I feel comfortable with my colleagues, so like that was fine. But to go into like an actual in-person meeting where like you're trying to like look polished and stuff, but not have makeup, like I felt not so comfortable, but I was really like happy to have gone through that. And that was actually, interestingly, the very first day after I decided like I need to test this out. So I'm growing into it, and I wanted to share that part of my journey here with you. And in case that perhaps also sparks any kind of interest to join me and give it a try if you're like me and somebody who just like really like loves makeup and maybe even depends on it quite a bit too. So that's what I'm going through. I think all of that together, like really everything I shared with you, just mishmashed together with a bunch of things I haven't shared with you yet, just in the background. Also like me having moved, there's just so much shifting for me and I just feel like a completely different energy. So I hope that you guys will start seeing that, feeling that, and hopefully maybe even being inspired by that if it's something that is helpful to you along your journey. So that's it. That's what I want to share today, and I hope I'll be able to share more, and I hope I'll share with you guys my beautiful new apartment that I'm so happy to be in. I really think that this environment is absolutely helping me to just grow and flourish and feel a little bit more like, you know, myself and in my zone. So thanks for sticking with me. I hope you guys also just like tapped into this magical, amazing shefa of Chanukah. I feel like there was something there. Just the timing of it for sure for me has just felt like, man, things have been clicking ever since. So let's keep up with the good energy, and I'll see you guys later. Shalom Aleichem.
I'ma get into it. I can't break, that's the thing about me. I won't put these goals on freeze. Can't stop me, I'm eating spinach and broccoli. Termination like I'm Rocky. Lift the heavy, no spot, please. Body back a beating in a getaway scotch free. And I'ma take control, unbreakable. I sense the face.